What's up everyone, it's TyranitarTube, and what if Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina had Gigantamaxes? That's what we're gonna talk about. Let's start off with Dialga right here. Gigantamax Dialga. This art is by SHINYGAZZA, and let's talk about what kind of abilities it would have. Now, before I get into this, the thing with Gigantamax is, in a sense, it makes sense that the Kyogre got primal forms, and when you go to Sinnoh, you get the big, ancient, gigantic Dialga and Palkia from a long time ago. And it goes to them having Gigantamaxes. But where it doesn't make sense is the fact that why would you get a gift from Eternatus to get Dialga and Palkia Gigantamax? Why would you almost in a sense put Eternatus above Dialga and Palkia? You can't. So in that sense, the only way you could explain Gigantamaxes for Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, and maybe Arceus, is that Eternatus is past, and whatever Eternatus is about is linked to a bigger tree that gifted these things their Gigantamaxes. Eternatus has no past. It's just a celestial object in the form of a meteor that crashed into Earth. So when I say these guys have Gigantamaxes, it only makes sense if these are Gigantamaxes not from Eternatus. And if you go by that, then when it comes to making Gigantamaxes in Sinnoh, it could be lore about how Dialga and Palkia gifted it instead of Eternatus gifting it. Perhaps they possess the same kind of power. Yes, we know primals are a lot more cooler, but for this video, we're talking about Gigantamaxes. So, Gigantamax Dialga, in this artwork, he's made to look like the primal he was in Mystery Dungeon. Now, let's have fun. It's gonna be, of course, Dragon Steel, but Gigantamax Dialga, it wouldn't even be called that. It'd be called, like, Alpha Max. You know how there's Eternamax? It would be its own thing. Gigantamax Dialga, its G-Max move would require a Dragon move, like Roar of Time, and it would be G-Max Time Hurricane. Let me be a kid for a sec. Okay, so if this is the epitome of Dialga's power, Dialga's ability is pressure. This is the best we're ever gonna see about Dialga's full power. It has to be something mad, and it has to showcase Dialga's time abilities. So for a weak ability, this move could have like a 50% chance to flinch the opponent, in the sense of almost like skipping the opponent's turn using time. Or, since it's time related, it could be residual damage taken for like 5 more turns, almost like a lurking future sight or a lurking doom desire. You come up with one too in the comments. Or the last one I'm gonna give you is it flips the field into a trick room. Each time you use it, it flips it, use it again, it flips it back. A trick room summoner. Obviously the trick room one would be hard to use, but throw anything and you can find some fun strategies for it. I like this design. Obviously, I'm trying to feel good about there being Gigantamax instead of primals, because that's what it seems like for now. This kind of makes me feel good because it reminds me of like some sort of ancient, godlike, gigantic Dialga that you feel like would have been like tormenting people in the past. It is the diamond Pokemon, so it has all the diamond features on it now. So that's Gigantamax Dialga. Here's something else I want to show you for Dialga. It's artwork by Tommy Case, where he just tries to like redesign the way Dialga looks. So it might seem a bit weird here, but if this was incorporated in the way its Gigantamax looked, and the diamond features kind of expanded around it, I think it'd be kind of cool. Alright, here is Gigantamax Palkia. So the theme with this Palkia design is to just mirror Dialga's design. It has blue glowing spots to compare to Dialga's red glowing spots, and there is no primal Palkia to base it off like in Mystery Dungeon. I will admit it looks a bit odd because you don't really associate the color blue with Palkia, but that's what we got for now. You know, actually, if you go back to the Dialga, the storm is blue. You know, I buy it. You know, I mean, obviously it's not true, but if they add in Gigantamax under a Sinnoh lore, having nothing to do with Eternatus, having something to do with Arceus maybe, or these three themselves causing it, then they could have whatever color they want. In fact, it'd be cool if, it might be too complicated, but it'd be cool if Eternatus had red storms, and it kind of shows what Pokemon it came from. So all the Galar Pokemon got red storms, but in Diamond and Pearl remakes, maybe you got certain Pokemon with blue storms only, and certain Pokemon with only pink storms, a bit different than red. But if you go down that rabbit hole, then like you'd have maybe 2 different kind of Gigantamaxes. It might be kind of mad. Anyhow, you have the biggest toenails in the world. Please cut them. So yeah, this Palkia design is cool, but I think I want something more like pink. You know what Palkia is. Here is the one Tommy Case made. Listen, it's sick art. But it's like his dentures need to go in, like he has no upper jaw. It's Grandpa Palkia. Holy frick, I don't know where I got this from, but that is madness. I mean, could you imagine if Palkia Gigantamax, it just sprouts wings and turns mad? You know though, I kind of want a massive change. Like, imagine waiting for Diamond and Pearl remakes to get a minor change that Gigantamax gives. I want a huge change. If you can give them the lore that they give themselves these Gigantamax forms, then it is their primal reversion. They're the king of these forms. That has nothing to do with Eternities. Make them change however they want. So Gigantamax Palkia would make it so dragon moves it uses turns into G-Max Space Vortex. So what would G-Max Space Vortex do? Okay, one, I'll give you a weak one. It could confuse the opponent, like their space has been spun. You hit them with the attack and they're just confused. 100% chance. Another idea is kind of related to the time residual damage. It would just be some kind of other residual damage. Though that isn't even that fun anymore, because they gave that exact same thing to Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise. So I kind of don't even want that anymore. Or my strongest idea is that it flips all the stat changes, because you've just messed up space. I think there's a move for this, topsy-turvy. So if the opponent has +2 attack, that goes down to -2 attack, and same thing with your stats. Now the downside to this kind of ability is that Gigantamaxes are all about stat changes. You use a dragon move, the opponent loses their attack. Use a fighting move, your attack goes up. To have a Gigantamax that then further messes with those stats is kinda mad, but that's all part of the game. That's kinda sick. If you have G-Max Palkia, you're prepared for that to happen, and you have that as your ace up the sleeve, so only the opponent is hurt by that. I think you could kind of take this one a stage further and swap your stat changes with your opponents. I mean, if you think about it could still work in double battles too. Obviously, Topsy-Turvy and Trick Room do exist, so it doesn't feel as great to have it as their abilities, but it'd be kind of fun to have that in a G-Max move. But before we move on, I'd like to reinstate the idea that Gigantamax Dialga and Gigantamax Palkia would be the equivalent of Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon. So if they can summon storms and mess up the terrain, why do these Pokemon get pressure as their ability? Even if you Gigantamax Dialga, it will have pressure as its ability, or telepathy, which I don't even think is released. So I bring you the idea that if Gen 6 wants to introduce super versions of the Drought and the Rain, then in the Gen 8 Sinnoh remakes, introduce a time field that Dialga just whips up, and a space field that Palkia whips up. But we're done with that. Let's move on. So many ideas. The final G-Max of this video, Gigantamax Giratina. This is the art by SHINYGAZZA. You can see now what they've done. It's the red, blue, green trio. I will admit, green looks very good on Giratina, and it has a yellow storm above its head. I kind of dig it. It'd be like they're the commanders of an army. Ancient Dialga and Ancient Palkia. Gigantic, leading an army, and Palkia's army has the pink storm above it. Dialga's army got the blue storm above it. Like, hey, I'm liking Gigantamax based off my own lore. Giratina just watching behind bars in the distortion world with his yellow army. Giratina looks very cool here. He kind of looks like he thinks he's Arceus. The green makes Giratina's evil vibe look so good, transferring all that red into that evil green. That test tube green, that looks really good. I think that's my favorite one. So you can see when SHINYGAZZA made these Gigantamaxes, he kind of made them primal Gigantamaxes. So kind of like a reversion. I suppose that's kind of a downside about Gigantamax is that their abilities will never change. So Gigantamax Giratina makes it so when he uses ghost moves, it turns into G-Max
Antimatter Blast.
I'm a freaking kid. Guys, I don't know what G-Max Antimatter Blast would do. The thing is, no one knows what antimatter is, man. It could be a combination of time abilities and space abilities. Like flipping, like Topsy-Turvy. That sounds like what Antimatter Blast could do. You'd have to like flip the Pokemon's attack with their special attack and defense with their special defense, and just like randomize it every turn. Or make it the most OP thing ever and make it so when you use this move, the opponent's afflicted with a curse. It just loses a quarter of its health every turn. Hey, it's mad. That's the thing with G-Max moves. They're fun, but there's only so much you can do. With primal versions, the world was open for anything. Your ability changes. Everything about your transformation doesn't lie in this one G-Max move. Your ability changes, your typing could change. These dudes' typings can't change unless their Alpha Max causes their typings to change. Huh. Here's one. I dig that. I dig that yin yang heart. That's the person who made this. This is so good. This is so good. He just looks like the devil. Oh, that's so sick. Okay, imagine Giratina Gigantamaxes, and it's like Gengar. He's just half in the ground and creeping out like this. I love it. And I love that he'd be gigantic and creepy. And like it'd be in the post game. You go to Spear Pillar and this Giratina's creep and you have to beat it in an Eternatus boss battle. And then it escapes into Distortion World. And you go chase it there. But imagine it condensed down as a Primal version. That's all I'm saying. There's no law saying that you can't make gigantic Primal versions. You tell me Dialga can't Primal and then he grows huge? It's crazy. I really want them to get Primal versions, but I also get Pokemon trying to do this versatile thing. Like Kyogre and Groudon got Primal versions. Dialga and Palkia got their own thing, Gigantamax. Sakura and Reshiram are gonna have their own new thing. I don't know why. No one asked for you to keep changing it up. But that is one of my favorite things that I just seen right there. That is it, guys. That is the end. Shank that like button. 6K likes. I'll do another one of these. Maybe for Arceus, maybe for something else, but discuss it in the comments. I want to hear your ideas. And if I do this again, I'll try not to mention the fact that I want primals. Hope you had fun. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.
Bitch, I'm the man. Give me my spot on that throne. They didn't want me to grow. They didn't know I would make all of them grow.